Hey everyone, this is Living Dead Gal, and welcome back to another episode of the Not So Berry Challenge. Today we are actually doing things a little bit differently because I played through an entire episode worth. I had my video recorded, I sat down to edit everything that happened, and unfortunately the video file somehow was completely corrupted. So sadly, I lost some really good footage, including the birth of the twins. However, we are going to look at a few photos that I captured, and I'm going to kind of give you guys a recap of what happened. I'm so sorry that this isn't like a full episode like how I normally do. I tried to go back into the save to see if I could actually recover from before the twins were born or get any of that time back, but I just couldn't. So what we're gonna do is just kind of cover everything that has happened through the images that I captured. So I hope that you'll stick with me and kind of enjoy this little recap episode. So first, basically, we see a sleeping Mintie, very heavily pregnant, and her and Christian ended up having a really cute just New Year's Eve in. She was in her third trimester and pretty much ready to give birth for New Year's. So they just sat in and they had a nice meal. They did some cheersing. It was actually funny because Christian came over with martini glasses autonomously to do a cheers, and I was like, Mintie, don't drink. Because my goodness, we have really struggled to keep this pregnancy okay with all of the alien abductions. So they just had a fun evening in. They watched New Year's Eve TV. I tried to have them watch the countdown to midnight, and it glitched on me, so I freaked out about that for a minute because I was not happy. But they ended up having a pretty good night in. And then well after midnight had happened, they were both in bed when Mintie actually ended up going into labor. So we ended up going to the hospital. Christian was over at the hospital making some friends, and Mintie was checking in at the front desk, and it took a little while for her to finally get her butt over into the room and give birth to the two baby girls, the two twins, and I named them Crimson and Cherry. So those were the two names that I had picked out a while ago. As if you've been following this series from the very beginning, you will know that Mintie's a character I had actually made and started to play with her off camera before I started my YouTube channel, and I hadn't played that save in a while and I hadn't gotten very far, so I decided to try it again as an on-camera series with Mintie and kind of start over. And because of that, I had already had some names pre-planned and pre-picked out, and so that was why it was really important to me that I wanted to keep those, especially because I had been watching so many Not So Berry series, and I'd had so many ideas before I actually decided to try my own, and so I just kind of always envisioned those being one of those names being my Gen 2 heir for the Red Rose Gen, because for some reason Rose, out of all the series I've watched, no matter whose series it is, Rose is always my favorite gen. And even though it's the same goals, I feel like people always find a way, every YouTuber I've watched, Let's Player has found a way to make their Rose generation stand out. And even I've read some really amazing stories on Tumblr too that are just about the Rose gen, and those are always my favorite. So it kind of had a special place for me, so that's where the names came from. I kind of had those planned in my head since I started this save. So yeah, we gave birth to two baby girls, Crimson and Cherry, and we took them home, and one of the babies, I actually cannot remember which one it was kind of freaking out because I have the mod that lets me put them in custom cribs, so it's an invisible bassinet, and when I went into build mode to just move the baby to the correct crib, the like still that I was frozen on was just like the baby freaking out like, oh, I am not ready to be out the womb yet. So it was kind of cracking me up, and I had to capture that screenshot. And I wish I'd had more screenshots of like the birth and some of the things that happened. You know, if I knew that this was going to happen to my video file, I obviously would have taken a lot more screenshots. So I'm just kind of making do with what I have, because there's so much important gameplay that I can't recover. I tried like 10, 15 different softwares to try to recover the video itself. I've tried everything to try to get like an older version of the save back, and I can't. It's moments lost, unfortunately. So anyway, yeah, not a whole lot else was really going on in the household. We brought the babies home. So it was the weekend. So between just like taking care of Cherry and Crimson, Mintie and Christian really just kind of focused both on their skill building. Christian did so much with the working out and bodybuilding. We actually got him through one more leg of his aspiration, just because I had him working out a lot, because on New Year's Eve, Mintie, because she was so pregnant, she was just kind of sleeping a lot of the day. She was just exhausted. And so Christian did a lot of working out. He took Bailey, the dog, out for a jog. So we actually leveled up in his aspiration, which was really nice. And he is actually starting to get like insanely buff right now. So he is definitely he's getting a little bit buff. He's getting like pretty big, and it's interesting to kind of see that progression, because I've never really done that with a sim before. Like I'll have them like, you know, do low level fitness, but I've never had like a super like crazy fitness sim. So it's kind of fun. And yeah, the two of them just kind of experienced the joys of parenting together. They made resolutions to level up in skills, and we also had a new skill day, so they like gained the parenting skills. So they had a very successful new skill day, as the two of them would kind of it would be cute because the babies would be crying and they would both be like in the room at the same time. Each one of them would have their own baby that they would be taking care of. So lots of really adorable moments with the family. And I was super excited for that. And another thing that ended up happening is, I think it was, I cannot remember which twin it was now because I don't have the footage to go back, but I think it was Crimson. Crimson would be like crying her little head off constantly. Like every time, you know, the babies would be fine, and then Mintie would go to do some mischief on her computer, Crimson would start crying again. So there's definitely one that's a little bit more high maintenance than the other, which I think is going to be kind of fun to play out with this generation. And Mintie got pretty far in her mischief. We actually got her up to level 9 on mischief, so we only have one more skill set that we have to get up to with her, which I'm super excited about, because we're actually making really good headway on her like on the goals of the mint generation. So yeah, we sent a bunch of chain letters to all of the people that we have negative relationships with. So that went pretty well. And that was pretty much it. It was like a pretty chill episode. Really, like the big event was the birth of the babies. I had kind of left it off around there. Oh yeah. So Christian, at one point I actually freaked out because I know that this technically can't happen in the game, but at like a glimpse, I was in like overhead view and I saw this like purple figure in the twins room holding one of the twins, and I freaked out for a minute because I didn't realize that it was Christian in his mascot suit that he wears for work. And I was like, oh my goodness, have the aliens actually legitimately come to steal my babies this time? Like, I didn't think that was possible in this game, because I just saw a flash of purple. But no, it wasn't an alien. It was Christian in his mascot costume, which fortunately, and I wish I'd had gotten a photo of it, he got a promotion to, I believe it's like dance instructor, I think is the next level that he's in the fitness career. The fitness career, it's all over the place. I mean, you go from mascot to lead dancer. I'm like, okay. So anyway, he was wearing like this all purple like dance suit, which looked really goofy on him. But yeah, at least the mascot costume that terrified me is now gone. So anyway, yeah, we kind of just had like a chill episode. I just spent a lot of time skill building and welcoming the new babies. Christian and Mintie are just as in love as ever. They kept autonomously slow dancing and flirting and kissing, so it was really cute. So, Mintie really is in a very, very good place right now. She's extremely happy. Her mood was like phenomenal. She was happy from giving birth to the twins. Her and Christian were in a really good place. Christian kept getting sentiment after sentiment with her, all romantic sentiments. And it, you know, she's in a really good place now. She has a beautiful house, a beautiful family. She's engaged to the love of her life. So she's getting ready to plan her big wedding, which I'm super excited about the new pack because we're definitely going to plan a big, big, big extravagant wedding for Mintie because I think that's just so in her personality to do. So Mintie's in a very, very good place. However, she's starting to feel like a little bit off, a little bit tense. She's doing well as a mother with her two children. She's, you know, she makes mistakes sometimes. She doesn't always know that she needs to change the dirty diaper and she goes in for the bottle feed instead. She's not like quite as maternal as my other Sims like Riley in my Whimsy series. But, you know, she tries her best and she really seems to love her two babies. But as she was kind of having a couple of different eureka moments and tinkering with objects, upgrading objects around the house, working on her logic skill, and playing some chess, she started to just realize that she should be 100% content, but she feels like there's just a little something missing, and she can't quite put her finger on it, but she feels like she's lost something, or that there's something in her life that is supposed to be there and isn't, and she doesn't know what it is, and it's starting to creep on her, and worry is setting in. And she actually did get a tense moodlet that was talking about worries piling up, and so she can't put her finger on what this source of anxiety is, but she just knows that there's something wrong. And so Mintie, being, you know, the scientist and the logical person that she is, she's gonna want to get to the bottom of this because she knows everything else is great, everything else is falling into place in her life, and she's just got to figure out what is this one thing that's missing. So I'm going to show you guys, we're going to go into the next part of the video, which will give you a little bit of insight into perhaps what has happened, what is missing in Mintie's life. And in the next episode, which I promise will be available next Tuesday, all will be revealed, and at least to you as the audience, and Mintie will find out a little bit more. So I'm gonna wrap this up here, but stay tuned after my voiceover to see this sort of last little bit that will give you a clue as to what is going on. But I'm really, really sorry that this is not like our standard usual episode, and it is going to be a lot shorter than normal, but I really, really appreciate you watching. I hope that you got to enjoy the little bit of the recap that we have, and I'm really, really excited for next episode and for what is to come. You know, my save files are okay, the family's okay, the game itself is fine, so we'll be able to continue just fine. It was just a matter of I lost the footage and I couldn't re-record it, and I really did want to get it up for you guys and show you what happened. I didn't want to just go in and kind of film and have all of these sort of missing pieces. So I hope that you enjoyed this recap. Please stick around for the last few minutes after this, but if you did enjoy this, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, letting me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the last portion of the video that you are about to see. And if you are not subscribed to my channel and you've been following this series and you would like to see more, please do hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!